Hey folks, I'm going back to 2018 again. Yeah, I'm getting close to finishing the month off. Only a couple more videos left, I think. When I realized that the monster's problems hadn't been fixed, and I was going to be putting it back into the back of the garage, I decided to do something about the garage door panels hanging down, and for whatever reason, I missed it. I should have showed that before I started the part 1 of the bearing removal, but I'm going to do that now. I'll show it. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going to put the door back together while it's overhead, and just so that the panels aren't hanging down in the way. So I'm not going to bring it down. I got a C-clamp on the rail to keep it from moving. I don't want it coming down again accidentally. So that was my first job. Get everything out of the way so I can move stuff around in the garage without worry. And then I'll get into part 2, my second attempt at trying to get the broken bearings out of the hub.
How's this wave going? It's not working. Is this a differential? Whatever wheel gets less traction gets all the freaking power.
Hey! I was going to offer to help, that's why I'm taking this out here. job was completely pointless.
Apparently. I don't know how well you could be able to see this. This is the front axle here. These bearings in here are kind of worn out. Kind of hard to really see with it moving, but there's a lot of play in them. So I tried last night to take this off. Like I say, I don't know how well you can see this. But it's a shaft in the middle, and there's flat edges on here that you can put a wrench on. This reminds me of an axle on a bicycle, and it's got the part that screws onto the shaft, and it's got a round edge on the other side that holds the bearings, and that's kind of what this looks like, but it's actually part of the shaft itself, which tells me this whole shaft turns. But on the other end, it's welded. So how the heck do you change this? So I'm thinking it's not actually changeable. You have to replace this whole piece. This is probably permanently, I don't know. All I know is I can't change those bearings because I can't figure out how to get this shaft out. It's holding the bearings in to begin with. Because like I say, it's welded on the other end. So I don't know. Never ending crap storm with this machine, I'll tell ya. So now I gotta figure out how to get these bearings out, or the outer raceways out. This one here, I bought some cutting tools. Or for a Dremmel, I don't have a Dremmel, I'm just gonna use my drill. But the shaft isn't long enough to get the inside one, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with that one. But for now, I'm gonna try to get this one out. Well, the grinding stone idea didn't work. And the steel that the bearing's made out of is just really too hard for it to really do anything to it. I barely scratched it. So I gave up again. And a couple days later I come back, I got a couple more ideas of what I can try. And I'm going to start with the torch and see if I can heat the hub up enough to expand it and release the raceway. That's my hope.
So apparently the torch isn't going to work either. The biggest problem I have is that the hub is actually pretty thick steel, and it's taken a lot to actually heat it up. So I do have one more idea. What I'm thinking of doing is drilling a hole through the hub where the bearing is and sticking a punch in and smash it out. That's really, kind of my last resort. I'm out of ideas. As every time something fails, I go back to the brute force method, which hasn't worked yet. It's kind of my default method. So I don't have very good drill bits, and some of them aren't all that sharp. So I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work out, but like I say, it's kind of my last resort. I have to try. At this point, I'm giving up in frustration. I've broken 2 drill bits, and I've reached the bearing, but I can't get the hole big enough for the punch, as steel is really, really hard to drill through. Plus, my drilling technique probably isn't all that great either. To be honest, I don't know how to drill steel properly. That's one of the reasons I like using aluminum. It's so much easier to work with. But I don't have that option. I have to get these bearings out. So I am going to continue with this process, but I'm going to get me some good drill bits first. And I'm going to do some research, see which bits are best for drilling steel, and the actual technique on how to do it. I'll find out how to do this properly. So for now, I'm giving up. Pushing so hard on the drill has just kind of drained all my energy. So I'm done for today.